So, anyways, about 2 weeks ago, I had to go camping with a bunch of Cub Scouts, right? And something you need to know about Cub Scouts, or just fifth graders in general. One, their parents are spineless. All right, their parents, they just can't function as human beings. And two, they're all horrible. Just all of them. Like all those children, they're horrible. I hate them all. And they were just like, why, where, alright, I'm not even gonna try. So yeah, these children, these small, just horrible fifth graders, they were all just there, and I hate them so much. It's like one of those things where it's like, you're just like, why? It's like, like that really annoying kid who's annoying just so he can get on your nerves. I'm like, oh my god, I'm horrible at aiming. Yeah, like that annoying kid who will be like, like repeats what you say, and you're like, can you please stop? And he's like, can you please stop? Like that type of kid. Like they just randomly moan every now and then for no reason, and they probably never will. These people are about to be like the 50-year-old virgin of the world. I mean, they are just horrible. You gotta hate them, and they just weren't nice. If that's like it's like you can see how they've been just straight spoiled by their parents for their whole lives, and just like have never had their parents be like, well, hey, stop. It's like I run ahead, or I'm a brat, and my dad, he just fucking like yells at me like he is not down for some bullshit, right? These people's parents, right? These like it's like they'll run ahead and they'll like scream and be obnoxious, and their parents will be like, oh oh Jimmy, can you please stop that, please. And like they'll use a hushed voice. They'll be like, hey, do you want to stop? And like whenever I meet a parent of like a child who's significantly younger than me and shows a fucking backbone, I am so proud of them. Like I am just like, oh wow, it's one of these parents. But if their kid is like you can tell if their kid wasn't doing shit, and then their parents freak out on them, versus like their parents like because yeah, don't get me wrong, there were some good kids, right? Some, like a whole two. Because there were like, there's like this group of like five shitheads, these tiny 5 feet tall, 50-pound motherfuckers just like chilling up with us, right? And it's like kids like me and like then all the other older scouts, because I'm in Boy Scouts, right? So we have to go with the Boy Scouts on these hikes and stuff. So obviously, me going with them, I'm just there, up there with all the older scouts, and you have like this group of like, the five main bitches, the ones you really just hate interacting with. Yeah, those ones you've met them before, just like that. They're just some annoying young children that you just hate interacting with. Like yeah, those kids. They were all just, vibing up there with us, except for they weren't vibing. While we're trying to have some small conversation, they are screaming behind us. They are randomly moaning for no reason. Once again, they will be 50-year-old virgins. And it wasn't a good time to be there. And I mean, like, in reality, it was beautiful, because it's like, to hike, fall is the best month. Fall is the best season to hike, right? And I mountain bike. Fall is amazing to mountain biking, because it's like it's not hot, you're not sweating, um and then the leaves and stuff are really really pretty. I very much like the leaves. So yeah, it's just a nice thing to exist in. But then these kids are just screaming behind us, causing problems, running ahead into the bushes, running ahead of us. And here's the thing: you're not supposed to go ahead of us and like there was a perfect example of this, right? So at some point we were walking, and on the other side there was like a 20-foot drop into a fucking river. Okay, like I'm not even like, no shit, a 20-foot drop into a river, and I highly doubt that these kids like are about to swim out or somehow get down there. I feel like if they fell down there, you just hear a crunch and then they'd be gone. They wouldn't show any resistance to the water, and it's even if it is moving at half a mile an hour, they would just get immediately swept away. Said their 50-pound asses are about to get taken by a bluegill down the river. All right. But either way, you know, beyond that, these kids, they start running ahead everywhere, and we're like, all right, you guys, you really should not run ahead. So, you know, we come up, and then we just start walking on this edge, and then there's a bunch of trees in front of us, and then there's a branch, right? So then we have to, I have to go ahead and find a path, because I am the lenient one. I am the agile one out of, like, the 4 older scouts. So they're like, all right, River, go. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, now just stop moving. So yeah, I just went ahead, and here's the thing, right? So what happened was, like, we were on this, like, small trail, you know, walking alongside, but then probably, like, 50 feet to the right, there was, like, the main road part, you know, but there was, like, a huge log, and by log, I mean a fucking, like, giant tree, alright? Like, imagine those trees where, like, they're on documentaries for being, like, 150 years old. Yeah, it was that, and it had fallen over. So there was a, you know, the adults made a small path, right? Because, you know, ain't no adult, you know, ain't no 40-year-old, you know, person about to, you know, climb over that unless they're ridiculously fit, which one person was, okay? But to be fair, like, they did, like, the, all right, here's my job, this is what I do, and it's Rainbow Six Siege. That's their actual job. I shit you not. Their job is Rainbow Six Siege. Like not actually, not playing the game. It's that in real life, okay? Just fucking, that guy's a badass, alright? Oh, so, never mind. Hey! Yeah, so that guy, that's all the explanation you need for him. And yeah, he's pretty cool. So you know, he was able to get over that fine. But what happened was I found this, and I'm like, all right, the road is behind this log. So all the adults, they made like this tiny path along, you know, the side. Because, you know, they're not about to scale that, and it went on for like way into the forest and stuff they weren't gonna go through. So then I had to pick up all the tiny, like, all these kids, honestly, like, and get them over the wall. So I was just like hoisting them up, like, above, and I was just like making sure that they were getting over this huge log, alright. And then it was you know, they were just like, you know, okay. And then some kids, it's like, you know, like a lot of the kids like were really easy to get up, and then they're, you know, it's like some of them, and none of them weigh a lot, you know, they're all anywhere from 50 to 80 pounds. It's not a lot. So, you know, I can lift them, but they need to help a little bit, okay? I bike. That is my main sport. I'm not the most fit of upper body strength. I'm not weak, alright? I'm not useless, but, okay, I'm not the strongest in the world. So they need to help a tiny bit. So what happened was most of them would, you know, put their foot on the log, you know, and so then they could push themselves up a little when I get them. But instead, some of these other kids would put their knee on the log, so then what? They're not helping at all, right? How they're doing it is like expecting me to completely just hoist them up, like do all the work, and yeah, that it wasn't working. So because it was making it harder, because it was like their like knee was grabbing onto the bottom of the log, and it just made my life so much more difficult. So obviously, I was just like, oh wow, this is difficult. So then, you know, we got through eventually. And yeah, we just got through that. But here's the thing: the adults made that tiny path, and then some of the kids were trying to follow them, and they're like, all right, let's go. And then they're like, I'm just like, no, kids cannot go that way. Look, all right. Here's the thing. Adults, right? I was not. I wasn't exactly as like. Still, I was faithful in them that they would get across. You know, a half a foot wide path, like where there's a drop next to it. But you know, I was worried a little bit, but they were fine in the end. But the kids, I trust not at all. I'm just like, why would you trust your kid to go across that? Why? And then, but then the mom was like, hey, Jimmy, do you wanna go over the log? And she was trying to act like it was some fucking fun thing to do. No, no, yeah, it is fun, I guess, to go over a big log fun for small children, I guess, is how adults look at us. You know, we get pure excitement from going over logs in the middle of the forest. Yup. But in reality, it was like, alright, your kid can't go that way. They gotta come this way. Alright? But then they were asking it like it's a question. And I'm like, oh no, nah, this kid's gotta come. And he was one of those kids who did the knee thing, right? Where like they put their knee and then they try and hold on to the log. And it was so dumb. And they made everything more difficult. And it just made me, you know, at least they weren't an annoying kid, alright? They were just like one of those kids who, oh, I had a voice crack, that like just don't like doing a lot of things, you know? Oh wow, this is a pretty bad situation. What, you're bringing them all here? Alright. Coins. But yeah, it was just not a fun situation, if I say so myself. But, you know, we got him over. And it was just, it all worked out. So, after that, you know, obviously, we just continued walking, and then the annoying kids came up behind us. And here's the thing, right? So there was a really big puddle, like one of those puddles where it's like you don't see it because it's the color of the ground because it's mud, but it's like if you stepped in it, you'd be up to your knees in mud. And these kids were going ahead, and one of them slipped and fell into it, and they were complaining the whole fucking time. All right, they were like, "Oh, my shoes wet," and I'm like, "Yup," and I'm just like, "All right, you know, your shoe is wet. Good job, small child." And you instant karma. All right. It would have been hilarious if I yelled karma bitch to their face. I really would have enjoyed doing that. Do we have power on? Power switch? 1,000? Yes, sir. Why? Why? But yeah, this kid was complaining, and I'm like, well, it happens, you know, you gotta live with it. And he just would not shut up. So you know, it was just not a nice time with small child who thinks that everything has to tend to them falling into a puddle of mud. And here's the thing, right? So this is the same kid who, when there were like branches in the middle of the trail, grabbed a branch and like held it back and said to me, hey, if I let go of this, it will hit you in the face right now. And I'm like, yeah. Do you know what a 150-pound linebacker could do to a stick like you, my friend? Because if you let go, I think you'll find out real quick. And this kid was just like, and like, you know, wait, it's like, this was also one of the older Scouts brothers, alright? And, don't get me wrong, I would do this to any kid, who even if I didn't know their sibling, if they were being a shithead to me for 2 hours straight. So you know, what happened was, this kid, he just sat there and held all the sticks back. So then, me and an adult made a path so all the people could get past, because we're in the front, and then there's like a solid like 30 to 50 people behind this wall. So we had to, oh, this is a horrible situation. Aw, teammate, I hate you. Teammate, I hate you so much. I'm dead. Aw, my teammate. Teammate. He's dead. So I hate my teammates. So anyways, yeah, so this kid, right, just held the branch the whole time. We made a path. We finished the path as people were passing. And he's still holding the branch, okay? So the thing is, right, he's holding the branch, you know. He's just chilling, you know, as one does, and nothing happens. Because wanna know why? Because he wouldn't let go of the branch because he wasn't that stupid. All right, all right. I didn't have much faith in him, but he pulled through. All right, so I give him absolutely no credit for not being a human piece of shit. All right, because want to know why? That should be expected. I am not about to congratulate some random tiny child who thinks that Apex Legends is the best game. He said, "I like Apex Legends because the guns are realistic. Don't they shoot fucking lasers?" Um but yeah, I am not gonna I am not gonna, you know, about to, you know, congratulate some random, you know, tiny child on the fact that he did not, you know, give me a scar with a giant branch. You know, you should not, it should not be an achievement to not fuck up someone who's been helping you the whole time. I have guided these children through things. You know, I've made paths for them, and then they were just not nice. So in conclusion, fuck you, tiny children. No one likes you. You will be forever a virgin. Goodbye.